First at 9 this Saturday, the 7th of June 2025. Eid al-Adha. Muslims in Sri Lanka and around the world celebrate Eid al-Adha, commemorating sacrifice and submission to God. More than 1.5 million foreign pilgrims arrive in Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj festival. The bright full moon. National Poson Week commences today. The National Poson Festival to be hosted in Mihitale and Tantirimale. Special train services scheduled to facilitate access to the National Festival. Called off. 4 paramedical unions withdraw from the JCPSM Strike action, prompting a temporary call-off. Medical laboratory professionals, however, continue to strike. Sword of Justice. Do not entangle the Bribery Commission with politics, warns Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. The Prime Minister's office meanwhile sets up an internal affairs unit to streamline public sector services.
Cinec Campus Open Day. May masa 3 වැනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට Cinec Campus පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
This is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9, Sri Lanka's most trusted news source. I'm Tatyara Nayaka, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. We begin with your top story. With the crescent moon sighted, Muslims from all across the world celebrated Eid al-Adha, also known as the Festival of Sacrifice, with great fervour today. More than 1.5 million foreign pilgrims have arrived in Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj festival, which commemorates sacrifice and submission to God. The holy festival was celebrated by Muslim faiths from across Sri Lanka with an evoking sense of spiritual unity, humility, connection to God and personal transformation.
The Hajj is an annual pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia. It is the 5th and final pillar of Islam and is believed to be a direct commandment from Allah, as outlined in the Muslim holy book, the Quran. The journey is considered to allow Muslims to seek forgiveness, purify their souls, and demonstrate their submission to God. More than 1.5 million foreign pilgrims have arrived in Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj festival, which honors the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to the Almighty. Islamic tradition holds that the Kaaba, a stone structure draped in black silk at the center of Mecca's Grand Mosque, where many Hajj rituals take place, was built by Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ishmael under God's command, which marks the origins of the Hajj festival. As more than 1,300 people lost their lives owing to the scorching temperatures last year, Saudi authorities have implemented a comprehensive security and organizational plan to ensure the safety of pilgrims. The Islamic community in Sri Lanka too engaged in religious observances across the country, joining the Muslims worldwide. Accordingly, the Sri Lanka Women Association held its Eid al-Adha mass prayers at Galface Green this morning with profound devotion.
Allahu Akbar.
Extending his heartfelt wishes to Muslim devotees in his message, President Anurukumara Dissanayake stated that Hajj provides a significant platform for unity of purpose as Sri Lanka strives to overcome national challenges which demand collective endeavour, goodwill and inclusive participation. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya in her Hajj message asserted that this year's Hajj holds particular significance as it is being celebrated under a government aligned with the same values of coexistence, aimed at ensuring the fair distribution of resources for all and building an altruistic society within the country. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa too extended his wishes to the Muslim faithful, wishing that today's celebration of Hajj by Muslim devotees around the world may bring peace, harmony and prosperity to the society.
The National Poson Week commenced today and will continue until the 13th of June. The National Poson Festival is expected to center around the sacred cities of Anuradhapura, Mihintale and Tantirimale. Taking the upcoming festivities into consideration, Anuradhapura District Secretary K.P. Ranjit Vimalasuriya noted that necessary arrangements have been made to ensure the convenience of devotees arriving for the National Poson Festival. Such arrangements include the scheduling of special train services by Sri Lanka Railways to facilitate commuters travelling to take part in the National Poson Festival. Meanwhile, a special mobile app was launched at the head office of the Derana Media Network to provide necessary facilities to devotees during the Poson period. The mobile app was developed by the Centre for Defence Research and Development under the Ministry of Defence. The mobile app will include information on parking facilities, locations where dansals are held, first aid centres as well as areas prone to road congestion. The strike action initiated by the Joint Council for Professionals Supplementary to Medicine was temporarily called off today as 4 paramedical unions affiliated with the council withdrew from the union action. However, the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine revealed that medical laboratory professionals are still continuing the ongoing strike action. The strike action of the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine was initiated by 5 paramedical unions on June 5th, demanding solutions for several key issues, including delays in promotions and inadequate recruitment of graduates. The strike continued for the second day yesterday, undeterred by the Health Minister's demand for all striking health workers to return to work before discussions are organised with the relevant authorities. However, the strike did not extend to cancer hospitals, maternity and children's hospitals, kidney hospitals or the National Blood Bank. In the meantime, steps were taken today to provide medicine to patients through government pharmacies during the strike action. Meanwhile, the Government Pharmacists Association, a group affiliated with the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine, arrived at the Public Relations Division of the Presidential Secretariat yesterday to voice their concerns. Speaking to the media, the President of the Government Pharmacists Association, Tushara Randeva, highlighted that the strike could be called off if they were given a promise in writing that a discussion with the President would be granted. Against such a backdrop, the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine took the decision to temporarily call off the strike action at 8 in the morning. The General Secretary of the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine, Chanaka Dharmavikrama, stated that 4 paramedical unions have temporarily withdrawn from the strike action. Despite the withdrawal of those 4 unions, the JCPSM's General Secretary noted that medical laboratory professionals will continue the strike. Meanwhile, the Chairman of the Joint Council for Professions Supplementary to Medicine, Ravi Kumudesh, also commented on the ongoing situation.
We resumed our services based on a few considerations. The Presidential Secretariat promised to discuss the matter with the President and provide us with a response by Monday. We urge the Minister of Health to not look at this issue through a political perspective. We urge him to discuss this matter with us and resolve it promptly. If he is not willing to discuss this matter behind closed doors, I invite him to debate this matter on national television. If our struggle is deemed unfair, we will withdraw immediately. However, if you are deemed unfair, resolve this matter soon.
සිනෙක් කැම්පස් ඕපන් ඩේ මැයි මස 3 වැනි දින උදෑසන 9 සිට සිනෙක් කැම්පස් පරිශ්‍රයේදී.
President Anuradha Kumara Dissanayaka convened a strategic meeting yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat to discuss initiatives aimed at promoting Sri Lanka as a year-round tourist destination. President Dissanayaka also held progress review meetings for projects funded by the 2025 budget.
A strategic discussion to boost Sri Lanka's off-season tourism was held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat, chaired by President Anuradha Kumara Dissanayaka. The meeting brought together key stakeholders from the tourism industry to explore initiatives aimed at promoting Sri Lanka as a year-round destination. Emphasis was placed on enhancing Sri Lanka's digital presence to attract tourists during the off-season. Efforts are being made to position the country as a premier travel destination through targeted online campaigns.
The government is focusing on strengthening human capital in the tourism sector by implementing training programs to improve service quality and professional standards. Attracting more foreign investment into the tourism sector was identified as crucial for infrastructure development and economic growth. President Disanayake announced plans to establish a dedicated unit at the Presidential Secretariat to coordinate all institutions related to tourism, ensuring cohesive and efficient policy implementation. The President also held a progressive review meeting on health sector projects funded by the 2025 national budget. The session focused on assessing the implementation of infrastructure development initiatives, human resource enhancement, and addressing challenges in the procurement and standardization of pharmaceuticals. Meanwhile, a progress review meeting on irrigation projects funded by the 2025 national budget was held yesterday. The discussion focused on major initiatives such as the Yan Oya, Gul Oya, and Mahaveli irrigation projects, as well as the rehabilitation of minor reservoirs. President Disanayake emphasized the importance of conducting thorough assessments of all ongoing projects and ensuring their timely completion. He also addressed prevailing challenges in the integration sector and explored potential solutions to enhance efficiency and effectiveness.
Responding to recent reports regarding the release of a prisoner through the presidential pardon on the Vesak full moon Poya day this year, the President's office issued a statement noting that a serious irregularity may have occurred. Accordingly, the statement went on to say that the official list of 388 inmates recommended for pardon submitted by the Commissioner General of Prisons to the Presidential Secretariat does not include W.H. Atula Tilakaratne, man convicted over financial fraud charges and incarcerated at the Anuradhapura prison. According to the President's media division, the individual in question had not been among those approved by President Anura Disanayake to receive a pardon. In response, the Presidential Secretariat officially submitted a complaint to the CID yesterday under the title Release of a Prisoner Without Presidential Approval under the Presidential Pardon, and also requested a special investigation into the matter. Thereby, a formal inquiry will be conducted and appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against any responsible officials. Director General of the Commission to Investigate Allegations of Bribery or Corruption, Lanka asserts that the Bribery Commission should not be politicized. Commenting on the proliferation of corruption in Sri Lanka, the Director General asserts that the law is swiftly and certainly imposed against petty criminals, while large-scale white-collar criminals evade the authorities unscathed.
A seminar titled Action Plan to Eradicate Corruption, organized by the Organization of Professional Associations of Sri Lanka, was held yesterday under the patronage of Director General of the Commission to Investigate Allegations of Bribery or Corruption, Lanka Disanayake.
People publicly claim that they want the corrupt to be arrested. But what they actually want is for all corrupt individuals to be arrested, except for a special someone they particularly name. I was shocked by the proliferation of corruption and bribery across Sri Lanka. Even garbage disposal would not be done properly if the garbage collector isn't bribed. Teachers in some schools carry 40 saris home on Teachers' Day. If a child is told not to gift a sari, he would throw a tantrum, saying he cannot go to school without a sari for the teacher. Most government employees believe that a cabinet paper can solve everything. But if a cabinet paper is issued with corrupt intentions or to conceal an offence, legal action cannot be taken against it. Certain losses caused to the government and certain profits accrued by individuals illegally are so enormous that I find it difficult to express those figures in words. I break those figures, which are in crores and lakhs, down into 3-digit chunks and express them in words for my convenience. These figures are that big. We apprehend and sue individuals over bribes of 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees to show that we are imposing the law without probing large-scale corruption. When it comes to corruption, the fact of the matter is that we are dealing with a lot of white-collar criminals. They are far ahead of us. We have a massive challenge confronting us. Please don't entangle the Commission to Investigate Allegations of Bribery or Corruption with politics. We have a massive number of complaints filed with us. We don't need anything more.
The Internal Affairs Unit of the Prime Minister's Office was officially established at the Temple Trees under the leadership of Secretary to the Prime Minister Pradeep Saputantri yesterday. Additional Secretary Administration of the Prime Minister's Office Ruwan Jayasundara was appointed head of the unit.
The Internal Affairs Unit was established with a focus on confirming the integrity of officials and fostering a corruption-free public service in Sri Lanka. The unit also prioritizes introducing robust anti-corruption measures within the public sector, implementing the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and other international anti-corruption conventions in line with the Article 156 of the Constitution and the planning of Anti-Corruption Act No. 9 of 2023 as well as the National Anti-Corruption Action Plan 2025-2029. The Internal Affairs Unit of the Prime Minister's Office is tasked with promoting a culture of transparency, accountability and integrity in enabling the delivery of effective and reliable government services to all citizens. The expected functions of the unit include promoting ethical governance, encouraging the reporting of misconduct, ensuring confidentiality, establishing a secure reporting mechanism and providing assistance in the enforcement of laws, in collaboration with law enforcement agencies and the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Thereby, 2 complaint boxes have been placed at Temple Trees and at the Prime Minister's office located at Sirimati Paya for receiving public complaints, suggestions and allegations related to the Prime Minister's office. In addition, complaints can be lodged via WhatsApp through the number 071 1130 898, by phone at 011 435 4754 or via email to iau@pmoffice.gov.lk.
The consolidation of power within local government councils continue to dominate Sri Lanka's political discourse. Let's take a look at the latest on that front.
The citizens' mandate is still with the NPP. Our stance is that we must let the NPP consolidate power in the local government institutions where they claim the outright majority. However, we will not support them in that endeavour. The opposition has decided to join forces simply to secure power. They have made no agreements based on policy. All that is useless because a commissioner will have to be appointed. If the majority is claimed by the opposition will consolidate power since this country is still a democracy. Other parties will make various public statements till the final decision is announced. If the SJB comes to power, history will repeat itself. Such a situation will never arise. Therefore, we can disregard it completely. On the 16th, Rai Kali will officially be announced as the mayor of Colombo according to the mandate given by the people. Measures needed to that end are being executed accordingly, which is why we remain patient and reserved. Since the people have not vested an outright majority with the NPP, it is clear that the people did not want the NPP to wield local government power. People have voted for different groups. These groups must get together and work together. Therefore, we expect to do what is best with the hope of electing the best local government councillor as the mayor.
They invite all individuals who remain untainted by corruption and deceit to join us. Those who stand firmly against corruption are welcome to join our mission. If you envision a municipality that thrives on transparency and progressive values, your support is crucial. The NPP is the sole political force committed to eradicating corruption.
With everyone's support, we will consolidate power within the Colombo Municipal Council and several other local government institutions. Some councillors who were elected to office through the NPP might even support us. A party must have 59 councillors to consolidate power. At the moment, we have the support of more than 59 councillors. Everyone has the right to dream about being the mayor. But the mayor that will be elected to power is Kali. We are impatiently counting down the days left for her to officially become the mayor. We are extremely confident that the independent groups will support the NPP in establishing power within the Colombo Municipal Council.
With that, here's a look at more local news across the island in brief.
Pearl City Residences. In Kottawa Malapalla, a 12-story housing complex was built to resettle 116 families who were residing illegally along the Kalani Valley railway line from Navinna to Paduka was inaugurated by Transport Minister Bimal Ratnayaka. The project was funded by the Asian Development Bank at a cost of 2.175 billion rupees. The complex comprises 120 housing units and is part of the Railway Efficiency Improvement Project aimed at enhancing the suburban railway network. Meanwhile, President Anurakumara Dissanayake has appointed KGP Pushpakumara as the Chief Secretary of the Western Province. The official letter of appointment was handed over to Pushpakumara yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat by Secretary to the President Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumanayaka. In other local news, the National Dengue Control Unit reports that a total of 6,042 cases of dengue have been reported in May. A surge in dengue cases over the past 3 months was observed, with 3,766 cases being reported in March and 5,166 cases being reported in April. 23,744 cases have been reported so far this year, with most cases being reported from Colombo, Gampaha, Ratnapura and Batiklo districts. With 13 fatalities reported so far this year, health officials urge caution on the likelihood of a rise in dengue cases with the onset of monsoon rains.
Welcome back. Now in your business news, Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma states that the government is strengthening the country's systems, improving process efficiency and creating a more business-friendly environment. He made these remarks while attending an event in Colombo. Meanwhile, at the same event, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka Santosh Jha emphasized that Sri Lankan companies choosing to enter the Indian market or pursue global expansion can raise both equity and debt, providing an additional source of capital.
Credit and capital, building trust through ratings and regulations. A special seminar organized by the High Commission of India was held yesterday in Colombo.
Our relationship is not just based on geography. It is built on shared civilizational heritage and a shared aspiration for progress and stability. Together, we can build a corridor of trade, trust, and innovation. Now, Sri Lankan companies choosing to come into India or expand regionally or globally can raise debt and equity on these exchanges. It is an additional source of capital for Sri Lankan companies who wish to invest internationally. This is also an opportunity for Sri Lankan corporates, including banks, to obtain a secondary listing of bonds and equity, where Sri Lanka's Security Exchange Commission and Colombo Stock Exchange work in close cooperation to give support for such initiatives. With the steady improvement in Sri Lanka's credit rating, time is opportune for corporates to explore opportunities to raise capital on India's international exchanges. I'm happy to note that the regulatory agencies such as the Central Bank of Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Finance are also present in these discussions. This will provide guidance in this impactful opportunity that beckons us. I also look forward to seeing more Indian businesses investing in the Colombo Stock Exchange in the near future. It would not only strengthen the economic ties between India and Sri Lanka, but also open up new avenues for regional growth and cooperation.
It is no secret that we have gone through a tough time. We have come to a particular point in time. Sri Lanka is recovering. The economic stability compared to the level that we were provides a great potential for investors to look at Sri Lanka. It offers the opportunity, both Sri Lankan entities as well as Indian corporates, to work together as the government. We are ready to facilitate to the endeavors that the private sector, businesses are working to achieve. In order to facilitate that, one government is driving zero tolerance for corruption. Many of the revenues that did not see the treasury, instead it was diverted elsewhere, it's now coming into the treasury. We are making our system stronger. We are making our processes efficient. We are trying to support and create a facilitative environment so businesses can operate efficiently. That's the support that the government is extending with welcoming investors to consider Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka has received $641.7 million from migrant workers' remittances in May 2025, according to the latest figures released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Cumulative inflow of workers' remittances from January to May 2025 reached $3.1 billion, up 18.2% from the same period last year. Earnings from tourism reached $1.54 billion during the first 5 months of this year, depicting an increase of 9.8% compared to the tourism earnings of $1.4 billion recorded in the corresponding period last year. That's all for tonight from First at 9. Thank you. Have a great night.